Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. Joining us in the studio is Clayton Boyles. He's the Executive Director for the Dubois County Community Foundation. Clayton, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you having me.
You guys do such great work, but you can't do that work without money coming in. It's kind of a win-win for everybody.
Sure.
And explain a little bit about what really the Dubois County Community Foundation mission is, and then we'll go into something specific.
Yeah. Dubois County Community Foundation, we are a 501c3 charitable organization, just like the organizations that we serve. We give out we build endowments that are perpetual, permanent sources of income that organizations that we help build and support can rely on year after year through a grant that a donor says that is important to them, and we make sure that the endowments continue to be able to give grants every year to that organization of choice. So donors give gifts every year. They also give long-term and even through their estates.
So basically, not that you're a pass-through, but the money people want to give goes to you, and they know that in good stewardship it will go out to good organizations.
Yeah, we're a donor's charitable partner. We're a nonprofit organization's charitable partner. And so, as you said, the word steward is the word that I would like to use, and that is something long-term that we want to ensure we are being really good at, is being good stewards of a donor's, not only of their dollar, because we do invest that, and we live off the interest of that investment. And that means that we will protect that principle, that core gift that they've given forever, because we just live off that interest and give out in the form of a grant. That's one way we steward, but we also steward the donor's intent. If a donor says, I want to support these three organizations forever, it's our job to ensure that forever is taken care of, and that the donor's intent, even if they're no longer here, when they're no longer here, that we have the ability to do that. It's actually our board of directors made up of 15 local volunteers. It's their core responsibility is to ensure the community foundation is vibrant and is making sure that our donors' intent is being carried out properly.
Now, in this show, we're going to talk a little bit about specifically about planned giving.
Yeah.
What is planned giving?
So, Bill, if you plan a trip, you're probably doing a little bit of research about the place you're going. You're getting a hotel. You may be looking at a few restaurants and some sites you want to go see, and you're doing this all ahead of time. The same is true when you give a gift in the future. A planned gift is an intentional gift that you give in the future. And planned giving, can look a lot of different ways. It could be a beneficiary of a life insurance policy. The nonprofit could be named as the beneficiary of a retirement account. It could be a simple line in their will. So you and your wife are putting your estate together, and you say, I want my children to have this percentage of my estate, but I also would like, for charity, whether that be the community foundation or directly to the charity of their choice, I would like to have that charity get 5% of my estate, 10% of my estate, or a specific dollar amount, $5,000, $100,000. And so a planned gift simply is a decision that is made, an intentional decision about giving a gift in the future.
And those would be considered estate gifts? Can you give some examples of that?
Yeah, sure. We've actually I have 3 examples just of this year.
Okay.
And they come from individuals of very much different backgrounds. We had a local priest who actually served in Jasper and also in the Ferdinand area for a number of years, left the community foundation a nice estate to his mom and dad's fund that was set up to support the church that he used to serve at, which was just a really full circle story that was neat to share. A St. Anthony home builder left a gift to him and his wife's endowment that was an unrestricted endowment that allowed for the community foundation to be able to give out community grants to any organization that is applying that is going to do impactful work. And then the third was a retired school teacher, a retired school counselor from the southwest Dubois County area who also left a gift that was unrestricted. It was interesting because we had relationships with a few of these individuals and understood and knew them, but others just chose to include the community foundation in their will and never had a conversation with us, which is super interesting We usually have relationships and develop and understand what they want to support, but for an individual to leave a gift to this community and entrust this community and the community foundation to steward their dollar without even having a conversation truly is remarkable and very thankful. I wish that they would have connected, because I wish that we were able to develop a relationship and really get to know them and say thank you for what they've done. So to them and to the families, we are very thankful.
You mentioned restricted or unrestricted. So if people really don't know, that's fine.
That is fine.
Because sometimes in the future, we don't know where the needs are going to be.
That's a great point, Bill. We did not know that we would, I used this example from last year, we gave a grant to support the hospital in purchasing some robotic cats. And everybody's going to laugh and say, what? But there was actually an intern at the hospital that did some research on therapeutic measures to help Alzheimer's and dementia patients. And they found that an animal is something that really helps soothe and calm down and just make a therapeutic setting for an individual going through a time where they're very confused, of course, and they are having memory loss, and a lot is changing in their life, and to have something that they can care for is important. And so actually we helped purchase a few robotic cats, and these individual cats are given to the patients, and it does create a calming effect and a measure. There is no way 25 years ago someone who gave a gift to our community fund that would say we're going to be able to support robotic cats in 25 years. So the ability to have dollars that the Community Foundation can be responsive and reactive and proactive with for needs now and in needs in 25 years or 50 years is really remarkable. And so having that almost a dollar that is so, it can morph into different things and meet the needs of a community is really, really, really great.
Now, talk a little bit about some of the grants.
Sure. So we have a new walking trail that we help support in the Pine Ridge area. SIRS, which is Southern Indiana Resource Solutions, did a facilities expansion, and talk about joy. Working with SIRS clients and the staff and the volunteers, they're so grateful for that grant. Excuse me. And it was a $12,000 grant to help with a facility expansion. We took a grant check out there and did a nice big check presentation, and we all sat around a big couch, and the smiles on their faces and the joy that they've had and the thankfulness that they have to be at that place, to be able to go there and just hang out, be able to have some programming is huge. And so that was really, really neat to see. A third and fourth one that I want to share is around the Dubois County Leadership Academy, something that has been in our community for a number of years, and it's a group of individuals, maybe 12 to 15 of them, that get to know the community in a different way, but all towards the goal of being better leaders. And they always have a service project. And two groups came up with two different service projects this year. One was for AEDs in areas within our county that are pretty far away from Memorial Hospital. And so, if something happened to you or I right now, an ambulance could be called and they would be here within 5 minutes. But if we were in Birdseye or deep in Holland or something far away from the hospital and we need a life-saving measure like an AED, that may be the only thing that helps save our life until the ambulance arrives. And so the goal was, let's strategically find areas that are far away from the county that a lot of people populate, and let's put AEDs in those places. It was a really neat grant and a really neat project that this group did. The second one was called Foster Packs. A group of individuals got together of this group and worked with the Department of Child Services that said, what do you need? We want to be able to support a DCS in a way. What are some needs and some unmet needs? And they said, well, whenever we have to remove a child from their home because of abuse, neglect, it not being a safe environment, they have to quickly pack up their bags and go. And usually their clothes, their toys, any kind of toiletry items, if they have any, are thrown into a trash bag and sent to the foster care family. And this group said, let's build them a backpack. Let's get a backpack together. Let's make it age appropriate. So if it's a 2-year-old, we have 2-year-old clothes and 2-year-old toys. And if it's a 12-year-old girl or a 12-year-old boy, we have age appropriate, gender appropriate items in there that they can take with them, that they can hold on to. Because being removed from a home, the trauma that is put on the child in that time is going to be something that they'll have to work on the rest of their life. And so having just an emotional something to hold on to is as important, if not more important, than actually having a physical backpack to put your stuff in. And so the ability to do that, the response of the community was overwhelming. I think they wanted to make over like 100, backpacks, either by actual physical donations of backpacks or by contributions that they would then go buy. I think they ended up making over 200 backpacks, wow. Which is going to service these children for quite a while, but it's amazing how fast 200 backpacks actually go through, which is also another issue in our community that seem to try to address, but I'm really, really excited to know that a group of individuals saw a need that kind of was an underbelly thing in our community that a lot of people don't want to talk about, and or are not addressing in a very willing way, and for them to publicly go out and say, this is what we're doing, we're partnering with the Department of Child Services, we want to help children that are vulnerable in our community, this is how we're going to do it. It was a really cool thing, and we were thankful that we could grant to them.
Now, what we want to point out is you're there for folks who would like to give money or set up an estate giving, but you're also there for folks who are needing money and are needing the grants. Right. How do they contact you? What should they do, either side?
Yeah, so if you're a donor, if you're an individual in our community that loves Dubois County and have already a specific thing in mind, or just want to explore options, give us a call. 482-5295. You can talk to myself or any of my teammates at the foundation. We have 5 people at the Community Foundation. Come in, let's have a conversation. It really starts with that. It can end with that. They may say, hey, this isn't what we want to do, and we won't have to connect again. Don't worry, Bill. If you come in, we won't hound you if you say, hey, this isn't for me. But usually it is. It is for them in a way, because even if it's not partnering with the Community Foundation, we're helping them understand what they care about. And usually it does happen to be something that we can support and work with them on. If you're an organization and you want to apply for grant funding, Nona Baker is our Associate Director, and she's responsible for our programs and scholarships. She's the person to connect with. We do have a website at dccommunityfoundation.org. You can apply online for a grant. We love to hear from you ahead of time, just because we like to get to know a little bit more about your organization and your specific need before applying, just to kind of be able to walk through that a little bit and make sure it's an organization and a cause that we can support. But those are the 2 ways. It really starts with a conversation. You can't go wrong that way.
Right. That's the most important thing, is just make contact in some way right away.
Absolutely.
Right. Clayton, thank you very much for coming in.
Great to see you, Bill. Thanks for having me on.
Our guest has been Clayton Boyles, the Executive Director of the Dubois County Community Foundation. Whether you are a donor or whether you are hoping to be a grantee, make sure you contact them. Thank you for watching 18 WJTS. We're local people watching local people.